Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be exploring the issue of orbital debris, otherwise known as space trash. Humans are generally very good at producing waste. Here on Earth, we are constantly facing the issue of where to store our trash and how we can find other uses for it. Unfortunately, as we migrate more and more into space, we bring this issue with us. Currently, there are over 23,000 objects orbiting the Earth that are tracked by the Space Surveillance Network. Space junk, or orbital debris, accounts for most of these objects, with only about 1,000 being operational spacecraft. The main issue that orbital debris poses to spacecraft and astronauts is the speed at which it travels. Some fragments can get up to 18,000 miles an hour, or almost 7 times the speed of a bullet. As advocates for our planet's health, we are responsible for the preservation of Earth's atmosphere. Through various techniques involving the cleanup and the prevention of a new generation of orbital debris, we can reduce the risk it poses to astronauts on the International Space Station and other active satellites in the final frontier. So, what exactly is orbital debris? Orbital debris, or simply termed space trash, is any human-made object that orbits the Earth and no longer serves any purpose. It can range in size from sub-millimeter to multiple feet across. For scale, one might think that a flake of paint colliding with an operational spacecraft would cause little to no damage at all, much like it would colliding with anything here on Earth. However, the speed that flake is traveling is why it can be so destructive. The energy of a 1 centimeter aluminum sphere traveling at 10 kilometers a second is equal to a 200 kilogram safe traveling at 100 kilometers an hour in space. That small fleck of paint could rip a hole in the side of a spacecraft. So what's the big deal? Why should we be concerned? Well, if we continue to send expensive instruments and humans to space, we need to ensure their safety. Space junk poses a large threat, and it's not easy to steer away from all potential collisions because each move consumes time and fuel that could be otherwise used for the spacecraft's main job. All we can do from Earth is try to track the debris that we can see and avoid collisions where they may be imminent. However, it is becoming increasingly difficult to identify and catalog every single tiny particle that astronauts and we see from the Earth, so an alternative method is desperately needed. Understanding exactly what orbital debris is and how it is tracked and cataloged is imperative to decreasing the threat it poses to functional spacecraft in Earth's orbit. You might be wondering, how did all that space junk even get into orbit? Well, in 1957, the launch of Soviet Union's spacecraft Sputnik initiated the string of more than 5,160 space launches by January 1st, 2016. Each of these launches brings about the inevitable addition of unwanted debris into space. This can include spent upper stages from rockets and unintentional spacecraft deterioration during flight. There are 2 big events of orbital debris creation in human history. The first of which was in 2007 when the Chinese government destroyed one of their satellites in a missile test. Additionally, in 2009, the collision of Iridium-33, an operational U.S. communications satellite, and Cosmos 2251, a defunct Russian communications satellite, introduced thousands of fresh pieces of debris into Earth's orbit, many of which over 4 centimeters in diameter. This was the first satellite-satellite collision in history. These events dramatically increased the threat of orbital debris to functional spacecraft that is currently in orbit. Alright, we have discussed the dangers and the history of orbital debris. Now what? During the next 200 years, it is predicted that approximately 20 disastrous collisions will occur. What are we supposed to do about it? Today, scientists are much more aware of the potential for spacecraft to create or leave any sort of pollution in orbit around the Earth, and are working to eliminate the creation of a new generation of space junk. While it is not completely possible to terminate the production of debris, NASA and other space companies are actively working to prevent as much of it as possible. For example, NASA requires that all programs and projects perform an evaluation for the possible creation of orbital debris. Additionally, the European Space Agency has proposed an active debris removal spacecraft to combat this issue. It's still in the early stages of development and planning, however, it could substantially reduce and stabilize the growth of orbital debris through selecting and removing specific targets. Alongside the active debris removal spacecraft, there's the European Removed Debris spacecraft. It is about the size of a refrigerator and includes 3 types of technologies that can be used to deorbit space junk: a net, a harpoon, and a drag sail. Using these 3 items, scientists can capture space trash and remove it from orbit. Despite these potential solutions, the technologies we use today that protect against and avoid collisions are still very inefficient and impractical. Nevertheless, the development of projects such as Removed Debris and the active debris removal spacecraft may be able to significantly improve the prospects of future collisional occurrences. As we work to lessen our creation of waste on the surface of Earth, we must have the same mindset concerning the creation of waste in Earth's orbit. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all learned some more about space trash and that it's an issue at all. Maybe you didn't even know. Check back again next week for a new video. Hope to see you soon. Have a great week.